All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Poland Experience. I'm your host, Tony Lombardo, and I'd like you to welcome my guest, Brian Folan.
Hello, thank you, Tony.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
This is the first episode, so we'll see how this goes. My man Brian is a fellow colleague of mine. He's an English teacher. He's also a film writer and director. And how long have you been living here in Poland?
7 years.
7 years?
7 years or more. 7 years at least.
When did you first get here?
In 2012, maybe.
2012. I thought you were here earlier, sooner.
I was on visits, but to be honest, I still think it's 1990-ish, because 1990 2000s, the middle 2000s were fantastic for me, and I was like, this is the future, because when if you were born in the 1970s, the year 2000, number one, was really distant, but also we'd have flying cars, Jetson-esque houses. So for me, we
kind of do have the Jetsons, sort of.
But
no flying cars and shit. But
the 2000s was the future, and there's you don't really now it's just future plus. It's just awful. But
future plus.
But so for me, So anyway, I've really partied in the decade of the 2000s. So it's all it's solidifying now, that I've got kids. You kind of got to remember the date and know what year it is.
For sure.
But back then, before kids, I came to Poland a long time ago.
So 2012 is when you first got here. So let's go with this one.
Yeah.
This is my favorite question that I love. People ask me this all the time. You're from New York? What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
You could have been in Italy. You could have been in France. You could have been in London. What the hell? Why are you here? Why are you here? Let's go with that. Why are you here?
At the time, Ireland was kind of coming out of just an economic slump, and it was like an economic bomb. It had really decimated the place, and for me, I've lived in a few countries, and Ireland is just incredible. It's just a really, really cool place, and the people are just brilliant, and to be so happy, or to be so such a jovial people, which just such shit weather. It's the weather cripples people who get there first, and once you get past it, you develop this kind of psychological resistance. But
I feel like the weather's kind of shit here too.
Well,
a lot of the time, but I hear Irish weather is way worse than Polish weather.
This kind of day, people would look outside and go, "It's not raining." Yes,
it's just cloudy here a lot of the time. Let's clarify this for the audience. It doesn't really. It rains for about 10, 15 days on end, but when it's sunny, it's really, really beautiful. But when it's gray and dark and rainy for days on end, it gets a little
heart, man.
Yeah.
But you know what it does? You know what I do when it rains? I go to the window and I listen.
You listen?
Yeah, and I used to go on YouTube and listen to sounds of the rain, and my missus thought I was mental. She thought you're not are you sharpening implements? And I was, no, I just because in Ireland it's really cozy.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Listen to the rain, darling.
But the sound of the wind and the rain on your window, and most houses in Ireland have a fire, so you've got a fire going and you're listening to this stuff outside. It's just really cozy. And but to go back to it, the atmosphere just turned shit in Ireland. It just turned awful, and I was like, right, I kind of need to change. I need to do something else. I don't know what it is. And my missus then moved to a place called Katowice, which is where we're at now.
You were already involved with a Polish woman.
Yeah.
In Ireland.
Yeah. So she said, "Look, I'm gonna go. Why don't you come with me?" And I said, "Yeah, that sounds fantastic." And it just kind of got a weird moment of synergy, or a kind of a feeling that this was the right thing to do, because when I came first, Katowice was not a fantastic city, and I had said, okay, I'll give this a year, and and then within that year, really, they just transformed the whole city. They started building things. It was just a new way of looking at things. Every piece of empty space was being dual purposed for something cool, something for people. There was just so much stuff to do, and it just kind of felt that I plugged into that vibe of reinvention. And I got that I got here because it was an industrial. It still is an industrial city. The scars or the features of industry are here, but they wear that really well. Do you know what it's like? It's like a coal miner who can ballet dance and paint pictures.
A coal miner who can ballet dance and paint pictures.
Because
there's got to be a coal miner out there that can do that.
You know what? There is.
Are there only women? Are there only men coal miners? Is my question. Or are there women coal miners? Do you know?
I can't and won't comment on that because I'm not qualified. I'm not going to touch that. But
you let me know if there's a woman coal miner. There's got to be a woman coal miner these days.
Yeah, for sure.
More power to you.
But there was a group of artists who came from the coal mines in Nikoshovets who started this festival called Naive Art, where these amateur... Now, I might be fucking up this history a little bit, but these amateur painters did their work without training. So they were tough guys with a big sensitive side. But that's kind of what Katowice did. It was like, right, we used to be a coal mining city, with the toughest guys in Poland. But also here's it's becoming the Silicon Valley of Poland, but also they're not ignoring culture. I mean, the live music scene here is just sick. Anyone who's ever been to Off Festival or Tower New Music,
there's a ton of music festivals.
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
There's a lot of music festivals, and the Off Festival started. What was it? I think it was 12. I'm not sure on the history either, but it was this little minuscule music festival in Mysłowice, and now it's this massive international. Acts are coming in, and
it's amazing, man. And the great thing is that you see so many Irish people because it's actually cheaper to fly to Katowice, stay here for the weekend, buy the tickets there, than it is to just go to a music festival in Ireland. Like, because that's another thing that really pisses me off about Ireland is
the exchange rates. Crazy.
It's fucking amazing.
Great for you guys.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
And same with the dollar. I mean, fuck. It's like, was it it's 3.85 right now? 3.39.
I don't mean to one up you, but we've got like 4.3, 4.5
of course
for the
you do.
euro. Yeah.
The British pound is the king, though.
Oh yeah, that'll wreck it. Yeah.
Knocks it out.
Yeah. So that's I rocked over. The city reinvented itself. I plugged into it. I said, fuck, I've got to ride the crest of this wave, and kind of I got into doing other stuff then as well.
How hard was your transition when you first got here? My transition was like, it was really difficult. I'm living in Lędziny. It's a small town. My living situation is tough at times. Don't have our own space, whatever. But how hard was your transition from Ireland getting into the Polish culture?
Not a heap different, and I can understand why it'd be different for you being like North American from the Americas, but once you're in Europe, you've kind of got that European sense, I suppose, mindset. Now, the Irish people are very, very different than Polish people in some regards, and in some regards they're really, really fucking similar. Because, if you look at it, both countries, they like a drink, but they both have a history of conflict with kind of much more powerful neighbors. So there is that kind of there's something going on that forms that
bond, if you will, or similarity.
The
lifestyle is what you're saying, right? You have a similar lifestyle.
Quite
You're both
quite
very
similar.
Resourceful people. Irish people are resourceful. Polish people are very resourceful people.
And also, in Poland, they've got an expression "jakoś to będzie," which means just see how it goes. And Irish people are just notorious for that. They're like, look, what you're moving to another country. What's your plan? What are you going to do? I just fucking see how it goes.
Hop on a plane. Fuck, ain't got no plan.
Yeah,
so I got over here.
But
it's I'm having a baby. Oh yeah, I gotta go to another country. Jumping on a plane, pack my bags, see ya. But that was the deal.
Tom, if you ever visit Ireland, you'll find that people say it will be grand. So grand in the rest of the English speaking world means big. In Ireland, it means fine. And Irish people do this as well. Look, you've been shot in the face. How are you? I'm grand. I'm fine. And
that's how we feel that too. It's like, I'm still breathing.
Yeah.
Everything's good, man. Still above ground.
So for me, the transition wouldn't have been as much as a culture shock for say someone outside of Europe. But there was bits and pieces. The language at the start is impenetrable. It's quite difficult. I would just kind of still be me regardless. So I would still go and do my Irish thing. I wouldn't really necessarily go, right, I've got to fit in here. Because the great thing is when you fuck up, you can't, people are shouting at you, but your brain can't actually go, I can't get the direct, I know you're calling me an asshole, but I'm not sure. So your brain doesn't go into anti-asshole mode. It's just like, yeah, sorry, foreigner,
For real.
sorry. I have no idea what the fuck I just did.
People start yelling at you in Polish, And you're just like, yeah, I mean, I know that I did something wrong, but whatever. Like this guy at the gas station one time was giving me the business. I was cleaning my mats. I was just cleaning my car. Like I'm gassing my car. I'm just gonna just papers and wrappers and shit. Let me just throw this out and like, the mat, whatever. And he comes out of the shop like, you have to go over here, whatever. And I was like, dude, fuck you.
But you don't.
Me being New York, of course, I'm like, get out of here, dude.
But like Irish people, another thing about Irish people is they're super polite. They're just like, and they say sorry a lot. But I just couldn't. I suppose it was the time that I came here, like, because I was living in a situation that wasn't fantastic. And it's kind of like, when the doctor's going to do something painful, and he says, look at the birdie, and you look at the birdie, and then he sticks it in you. So for me, Poland was the birdie at the time. So it took my mind off things. I don't think it was that difficult.
Are you like a get into the culture kind of guy, or like I need time kind of person?
No, I wouldn't have made a conscious effort either way. I just would have absorbed things, and the food is quite similar to Irish food. So like I was like fucking happy days.
Potatoes.
For days. There you go. Just potatoes. Well, what we got different types of potatoes. Well, what different types? We have big ones, small ones. You can cut the big ones in half and make 2 small ones. But do you know what I mean? It wasn't a huge difference. Meat and veg.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I'm not saying it as a derogatory on Irish food.
Everything's delicious.
I'd fucking kill a man for a plate.
Rather fattening, but really heavy.
For a plate of pierogi, man. I would. Yeah, don't get in my. That's a dangerous place to be, in between me and my pierogi.
I never knew how many varieties. Pierogi, man, crazy. Savory ones, sweet ones, fruit ones, meat ones, veggie ones, cheese ones.
There's actually a restaurant just down there. I don't know, do you know the World of Pierogies? There's 101 different types. You can get pierogi with soup inside it.
Pierogi with soup inside.
Yeah, and the guy is fucking super cool. And the guy, he knows. He's like, I've never seen you before. And you're like, yeah. And he goes, I got to tell you all about pierogi, man. Like, and you're just like, before you can even interrupt, he's like, no. You don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you about the world of pierogies. And you're just like, fuck yeah. And like, I'd like these.
Like, yo, I get the frozen ones from Tesco, and he's like, no.
Get out. don't ever come back.
Pierogi Nazi comes out. No pierogies for you, motherfucker. Get out.
Totally. But yeah, no. To answer the question, the transition for me was quite simple.
Cool. So what's your favorite, since we're on the subject of food, we could talk about food and beer here for, I'm sure that's an episode within itself. What's your favorite Polish dish?
Bigos.
Bigos,
yeah. Bigos is fucking great.
All right.
And you get a good bigos. Bigos is like everything. It's a bit of meat, it's a bit of cabbage, it's vegetables, and it's all just left to...
Just throw the refrigerator into a pot, stir it up, no. And there's a specific way to make bigos, by the way.
But it's great. It's great. And it
is a lot of shit.
It's tasty when you eat it, but when you leave it for a few days...
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah, you got to cook it, and you got to just let it cool down, put it in the fridge for a day, 2 days, and then...
Yeah,
that's the deal.
Yeah, bigos is great. It's everything a growing boy needs.
I can say that, that's for sure. Cabbage, bacon, kielbasa.
What you got? Just throw it in there, man. It's bigos. It's like no rules. Bigos is the food equivalent of no holds barred fighting. It's just fucking get it in there. Bit of blood, not a problem. Kashanka as well. Kashanka is like a blood sausage.
Yeah. I've had that. It's dark.
Yeah.
Right? It's dark, and you got to slice it open, and
and it's really good with apple. If you ever fry it up,
honestly,
put a bit of apple on top of it, man. Happy days. But it's almost the same thing as in Ireland. We have the same blood sausage called black pudding, and it's pretty much the same thing. So I was like,
so it's made of organs.
Do you know what? It's kind of, there's different varieties, but basically it's growth and blood. That story does not get any prettier.
I don't know if I'll ever eat that again.
Oh, it's delicious.
Growth and blood. No, I've had it many times. Kashanka.
Yeah. That's and I think there's a little bit of meat in there, but
a little bit.
Yeah, that's essentially what.
Because isn't black pudding lungs, heart, kidneys?
That's haggis.
Learn something new every day.
I've never had haggis, but apparently haggis is illegal in the United States.
I mean, there's a lot of shit that's illegal that people from Europe are like, what?
Yeah.
How is that illegal?
What do you mean you can't eat a sheep's internal organs wrapped in his own stomachs? What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a slew of things that people have commented like, that's illegal in America? Like, yeah, man. You know, like Kinder, you can't sell the Kinder Jacqueline Espajankas.
Yeah.
Nope.
Kinder Surprise.
Nope, dude, not.
What's
not
the
legal.
reason behind that?
Small parts, choking hazard. There's other Kinder things that are sold in America, but not the Jacqueline Espajankas with the little toys inside.
Can they not just give it with bigger parts? Or parts with holes
You
in
would
it?
think that Americans would make bigger eggs with bigger toys inside.
Yeah.
Plus, they have a Jacqueline Espajanka that's like the size of a cantaloupe.
Yeah.
Like a mango.
Yeah.
It's massive.
With like a fucking smartphone inside it. You know, that's the surprise.
$5,000.
Yeah.
$5,000. $5,000 is what the Jacqueline Espajanka. Smartphone, Apple smartwatch, come and get it. Yeah, well, that's true. Maybe, we're onto something. Gonna talk to Kinderfolk. So because mine would be, I would say, Kluski and Rollata are my hands down favorite. With what is that? The beets.
Beetroot.
Beetroot.
Borscht.
Shredded.
Borscht.
That's
soup.
Borscht is the soup. I just had it yesterday. What the hell is it? Hit me in the comments. Come on, people.
It's like a beetroot salad.
What is that? Oh my god, I can't think of it. Borachki. That's what it is. Yeah, borachki. That's the one. So, and also, things are really well balanced here. You will have a starch, a protein, and a veggie. Normally,
it's
for obiad.
But it is. It's like it's not fancy food. It's like you want fancy food, go to Italy. I'm not ragging on Irish food. I'm not ragging on Polish food. But it's what you need. It's like your meat and two veg. Right? That's what it is.
Yeah. Soup. Favorite soup. Soup. You have to eat soup.
Yeah.
It could be 30, 35 degrees outside. Hot plate of soup. 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Not a fucking problem.
On the button, man.
Yeah.
I love that. That fucking cracks me up.
Yeah.
It's scorching hot summer day.
You've got to have soup.
It's hot soup, dude.
Do you know what? Rosso is quite a nice soup with this sauce called Maggi sauce.
I never had Maggi till I got here.
Yeah, my missus was telling me, she's like, what? No, I'm sure you sell it in Ireland. And I was like, I've never fucking heard of Maggi sauce. She was like, yeah, you did. And I was like, well, obviously I did. And you're telling me, now, but Ross is quite good, and Ross is quite good with a hangover. So if you've got a hangover, it kind of it replaces what the drinking took out of you.
Ross is chicken soup, like it's a.
You can make it with
regional
chicken or beef stock.
Okay.
Whatever your stock is. I've had it with duck. It's really really nice.
I'm still learning. I'm experiencing this whole deal here. So
and there's another soup which is really it's a Silesian soup as opposed to like Poland wide. What is it called? Wadjanka. And a friend of mine took me to this restaurant and said, "You've got to check this fucking soup out. It's amazing." And a friend of mine's a lawyer, and I was figuring it's a lawyer restaurant. And when I get there, it looks like a canteen in a steelworks.
Those are the best places.
Yeah, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" He goes, "Man, just don't say anything." He said, "Order the Wadjanka. I think it's Wadjanka." And a bowl of yellow water comes out with a bit of garlic in the bottom of it, and I was like, What the fuck is? And he was like, just eat it, man.
Never coming here again.
And I got stuck into it, and it basically it's just garlic soup, and it was so tasty. It was so fucking tasty. And again, I was eating it with a hangover, so I don't know, was that something to? A lot of these stories take place pre, during,
or after drinking.
Yeah. So
there's got to be a story about when you first got here, something funny that happened or crazy situation that happened. So what I'm thinking of is you're drinking with the miners and then the aftermath of that.
Yeah. So the background is the region we're in is a mining region, and I went to this pub, this Czech pub, with a bunch of guys that some of them used to work in the mine, some of them still do, but they're all kind of connected. So to kind of get into that, like to be invited into that, not clique, but social group, whatever. And miners are kind of like royalty they're really respected here for very good reason in Silesia. So I was drinking with them, and we ended up drinking Śliwowice, which is this very strong cherry vodka, which is another great thing about Poland. Like, if you just go off into the forest, you send a Polish person off into the forest, they'll come back with mushrooms, berries, and about 2 liters of the most fucking kick-ass vodka you've ever drank in your life. So we're putting this shit away, made from cherries. And I'm pretty drunk at this stage, and I think it's about 2 a.m. Not in the best part of the city. And we're coming up, and I'm kind of too drunk to really care or be nervous, whatever. And there's a guy in a wheelchair barreling across the road, and he hits the fucking curb, and he can't get up on the thing. And he's not. It's not a small guy. It's not like he's lost his legs. He's still got his fucking. It's not half the man. It's the full, just big chunk of ham in this wheelchair. So, and he's saying something to me in Polish. And number one, I'm too drunk to understand him, and I'm too drunk to realize that I don't understand him.
How's your Polish at this time?
Not stellar.
Not stellar.
So this is quite early on in
hard language, people.
Yeah, but you know, so like I figure the guy is saying to me, help me up on the curb. So I'm like, okay. And I try to get him up, and he's fucking big, man. And even with the wheels and stuff, lifted him up. I'm like, holy fucking shit. So anyway, I got him up. Good deed for the day done. That's exactly what I thought. You know, I can go on.
Knocked it out. Good.
The universe. I have balanced the whole fucking.
Got some good karma. Okay.
Wrong. So he says he wants me to help him up the street now, and I'm kind of like, I'm fucking too drunk for this shit. So we get him up, and it becomes apparent then he wants me to bring him to the pawn shop, the Lombard. So I'm like,
Lombard.
I'm like, okay.
I love that fucking place.
But it's the only place that's open on this whole street, and there's no security on it, and you know, like.
What time is it right now?
About 2 a.m, and there's a fucking gorilla working in there, and I was like, right, okay, that's obviously like basically this guy's sitting in there surrounded by gold, and his main message is take it if you think you fucking can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get past me, you deserve it. So I have to help this guy up, and I'm asking the gorilla to help me, and he just kind of looks at me and he's like, I'm not getting off my ass, man. And he's
not for you, dude.
But he's obviously smarter than me. Going, this looks like a job.
He's probably seen this before.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to get the guy up the ramp, and again, I'm sober. I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, but just you know, this
sober, I would not have been able to make this happen.
This drunk,
I'm intoxicated, so I've been drinking minors, and I'm good to go.
But like I've got drunk strength, but I've also got drunk balance. So they're kind of fighting.
It's got to be an Irish thing.
Yeah. So I'm trying to push him up the ramp, and eventually I get it up, and the gorilla's manages to get off his ass and hold the door open for us, because the guy in the wheelchair now is actually, he's not helping at all. Like, he could
hold the door.
He fucking could, and he's just giving shit to me. He's giving shit to the gorilla. So we get in, and then I kind of get wedged behind I can't get out the door. The guy in the wheelchair is there, and the gorilla is there. So I'm kind of stuck in a corner. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And the guy in the wheelchair starts pulling like mojito drills out from under the fucking wheelchair, and gold chains. So obviously he's fucking stolen this shit, man. And this is his cover. And he's arguing with the gorilla about the price. And this is when I knew I could I'd be okay with the language. I understood the negotiations. So the guy was asking for $2,000, the guy in the wheelchair, and the gorilla was laughing his ass off, going, mate, I'll give you 200 and you'll be fucking lucky to get it. At which point the guy in the wheelchair jumps up, sending the wheelchair back, moving me out of the way. And this kind of big altercation about to kick off. But then it just dawns on me, like, I'm essentially accessory to fencing stolen goods, like, and I'm just like, I don't need this fucking hassle right now. So I managed to get myself out the door and run out. And I remember just as I was leaving, in my head, what I wanted to say was something like, oh, you'll never be on Pawn Stars or the History Channel, you bunch of dickheads. But it just came out as, fuck you. And off I went, and I was like, I showed them. I'm not exactly sure what I showed them what to do. But I think I circled back and met the miners, and they got me home. They got me home okay. I'm not sure how that night ended. But I remember telling it to my missus, going, like, does that happen often in Poland? She's like, yeah, never.
Never happens.
You fucking idiot. So
accessory to stolen goods.
So that was a good introduction to the vibe.
Have you been drinking with the miners since?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
all the time,
they're
man.
So fucking funny. These guys are so funny, and they're just, again, they're all, really solid guys. But you talk to them, and they all play in bands, or They've got some interest in the culture, but what they're really like super proud of is the mining culture, like Baburka, the Day of the Miners here, but all the stories that go with it. And then like just up the road is Voyek mine, where there was like a massacre. There was 14 miners that were gunned down by the security service, the militia. So there's this giant cross to it. So I mean, they're very proud to be part of that movement and tradition, but also like you kind of got to see it from in a metaphorical way. They are part of the Silesian land as much as the coal is ingrained there. So you know,
that's a big part of the society, man.
Yeah,
you know, we still heat our house with coal.
Yeah.
Truck call up, truck comes, 2 tons of coal comes out, shovel it inside into the basement, organize it in the basement, and then, you know, put some by the furnace, and that's how you're starting the fire.
But you know what?
Shoveling coal into your furnace to heat your house, man.
They're really, really smart guys, and they're just so fucking funny. And the stories, man, it's just... I believe it, dude. But like, it's like the first time, they were mostly talking Polish. Like a few of the guys could speak really good English. But when they're talking Polish, their laughter and the vibe is so infectious and gregarious that you can't help but find yourself laughing because everyone else is laughing. Not because you want to fit in, because it's your body saying something funny happening. Ha. Yeah, there you go. And then shots.
Better left.
Shots.
Oh, the vodka, man.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Have you been to I'm sure you've been to a Polish wedding.
Yes, a Polish wedding is a great place to get a snapshot of Polish culture, because the food, it's like a medieval feast. If you've ever seen an episode of Game of Thrones and you wonder, what did they do all night?
What's it like?
Yeah, that's what it's fucking like, man. It's drinking and dancing until you fucking die or pass out or get asked to leave.
And if you're staying overnight, the room is right down the hall.
Yeah.
So you can just go grab a nap and come back later on at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and people are still partying.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's unbelievable.
And then they do it the next day.
2 days.
It used to be like people are kind of complaining, going, "Oh, the weddings are only 2 days now. It's fucking, you know, young people today." Like if you talk about mountain weddings back in the day, not so back in the day, but like that was a week-long affair. People just wrecked. And it was
I was thinking like 3-4 days, not a 5-7 day affair.
Just wreck it, man.
Wow.
And then again, it's
2 days is plenty.
2 days is plenty, yeah. But the second day is great because usually you're wrecked, and you kind of feel yourself getting better, and then the drinking starts again.
When you wake up, it's like, I need a shot to get going, or 2.
But it's great, and they do it in a really good way where they've got smallets. So smallets is like pig fat with pickle and bread, and it just kind of absorbs all the shit in you, and you know, so you can keep going. You can drink. Here's what I learned. I can drink a lot more than I thought I could. I could
with
drink
smallets.
Yeah, I could drink a lot more than I thought humans could.
Yeah. So I was amazed with. I've only been to one Polish wedding, and the ceremony, the wedding ceremony, first off, was gorgeous in this church that must have been at least 300 years old, or you know, just old church, 200-300 years, whatever. And we were in the east of Poland. Tornów is where we were, and you know, the procession to everyone caravans in one line to the restaurant. They get in, you know, out of the cars, whatever, and throw the glass behind, sweep it up, and then you go in. One of the big differences between American weddings and Polish weddings is that you start with the gifts, the gift giving. You don't just go and like put the gift on a table. You go up to the couple and you approach them and you say, you know, we wish you health and happiness, lots of children, money, success, you know, all the best, blah, 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 and hand them the gift. And then you have soup, and then it's cake time. The cake coming so early is such a crazy thing for me, man.
But here's the thing, at the Polish wedding, it keeps coming. So like you eat everything, and about 2 hours later, they just start again, and it's kind of like, I'm like, does everyone like what? It's like they just reset, and nobody mentions it, and I kind of felt like going, does everyone know that this shit's happening again?
Yeah.
Am I the only one that can see this stuff?
Yeah.
And it just goes on, and they keep doing, like, at 3 o'clock in the morning, the staff come round, clear the tables,
reset everything,
put soup and the meat and the cold cuts and the fucking the hot, like, the whole thing is getting, and
cold dishes always on the table.
it's a feast, man.
Yeah,
it's a
for
feast.
real.
If you ever get a chance to go to a wedding, go to, and you know what the thing I love about a Polish wedding is, it doesn't have to be fancy or huge. All Polish people need for a wedding, and this is something Irish people have lost a little bit. Not all of them, but like, it's kind of weddings are getting more extravagant. You know, you've got to have it in a castle, and you're like, well, don't fucking really. You know, like, I'm not going to get married in a suit of armor. You know what I mean? I don't have to
military coat of arms on.
She's already said yes. I don't have to fight the Black Knight in order to win her hand. But in Poland, it's just like, well, all you need is your family and friends together. 400 litres of vodka and food that won't stop, and so that's what I loved about it. I love that whole
the wedding I went to, they actually had to leave and go get more vodka and bring it, and there was a 24-hour shop that was open. So at 3 a.m. after the games had started, because the games started midnight, you're talking like you get a little mini bike, you have to ride it to the other side, do a shot, come back and give it to the next person. That's the deal. Tons of games. The games are awesome. So 3 a.m, it's like, oh, here's another 10 cases of vodka coming in. Okay, all right, we're gonna drink this for the next day at least.
I usually try to avoid the games. I'm not great on it.
I love the games, dude.
I always find that I kind of observe, okay, who are the hard drinkers here, right? When the games start, I'll head for their table because they don't look like don't get me to carry a ball around under my neck kind of thing. I'm drinking. Like, I'm busy. I'm drinking. I'll be there with those guys there, man. So there you go.
Real. When you Google Poland, you get these like beautiful mountain scenes and these awesome pictures of like what parts of Poland look like. But I know where I live, that's you know, not that I live in like a rundown place, but like Mysłowice, there's graffiti fucking everywhere. Even where I live, there's graffiti all over the place. I love the graffiti. I'm a big fan of graffiti. I think it gives character to a place. So my question to you is, how was your vision of Poland the first time you got here versus what it was really like when you landed and were on the ground in Poland? Because Google is very deceiving, I feel.
It's not the country that you think it is. And you'd say that to anyone who's coming here. And it is a country that deserves exploration, because there's so many different regions. But I didn't really know what to expect, because, you know, if you think about the country of Ireland in the 1990s, the only international news footage would have been about the troubles in the north. So bombs blowing off and men in balaclavas and shooting and stuff like that. Whereas I lived in the country, and I never actually saw any of that. You know what I mean?
That's funny. I mean, media always twists shit around because, you know.
So there you go. But like,
same with America. The Middle East is just a bunch of people, and they're gonna cut your head off if you go there. Don't go there. Don't go to Iraq. It's like, come on, people.
Yeah, but
they're not all terrible.
They can't
people.
all. Yeah, you know. But if they were, that would be a huge army of terrible people. That would be the most sinister army.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the only footage I had seen of Poland before I came there would have been footage pre-fall of communism. So, you know, people driving fucking shitbox Maluch cars. I'm not ragging on Maluch
Fiat
cars.
128s.
Right. You know,
Dude, great cars. Tom Hanks owns one, so, you know.
I'm not ragging on it, but, you know, if you were to give anyone a choice, even the inventor of the Maluch, a choice between a Fiat and a BMW or an Audi, like, very quickly he's going to go, no, I see your point. So that was it. You know, people queuing for bread and snow, and it's a very, very different country. It's so different, and each city. I mean, Krakow is so different than Warsaw. Warsaw is so different than Torun. Torun is so different than like Szczecin or Katowice. Gdansk, forget it. Like the Trójmiasto. So Trójmiasto is 3 cities.
3 cities, yeah.
Sopot, Gdynia, and Gdansk. Get yourself up there and then tell me that your idea of Poland was what, you know, Poland is what you thought it is, because you're wrong. You know, it's just so different. But again, there was a part of me that was like, I have no fucking idea what's going on. So when I left, but because all I knew was that I need to do something different. So I was actually in a pretty good mindset not to get culture clashed. And I mean, if I hadn't come to Poland, it would have been the same as if I'd gone to fucking Azerbaijan, or do you know what I mean? I would have.
You were going somewhere foreign. You were going somewhere different.
Yeah.
Different language, different culture.
Yeah.
Different native language.
Yeah.
No matter where you were going.
So that was it. But I didn't know what to expect either way, good or bad. Which is nice to have yourself in this kind of, sense of fluidity. Really. Not that it's something you can turn on or off, but it's just like when I landed here, if any weird shit happened, my brain had this kind of routine running that maybe this is normal for Poland. So for everything that happened, I was like, yeah, it's probably, this is,
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just normal here.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah.
Don't make a big deal about it.
Don't worry about it. Dude, it's 10 a.m. Guys walking down the street. It's Wednesday.
I fucking love
fucking
that, man.
Drinking like it's fucking Saturday night. Yeah, man. And it's like that's normal.
I love the old boys. Like I like to go for breakfast, like, and especially in the summer, and you've got this just lovely heat in the morning, and you got this open air place, and you're just chilling, and then there's an old boy there, and he's just like, beer, give me a half a liter of beer, fucking nice one, look, and you're like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, man.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure,
more power to you.
When in Rome, drink beer in the morning. So
that's like with the holidays, like Christmas is 2 days here, Well, 2.5, 3 basically, right? You have the 24th, 25th, and 26th, and so that's a different thing for me. Also, speaking about holidays and shit. Whatever day of the week the holiday lands on, that's the day that you're off.
Yeah.
For example, May 1st and May 3rd are huge days here.
Yeah.
May 1st is a Wednesday.
Yeah.
May 3rd is a Friday. You're taking a 5-day weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's no 3-day weekend here, people. It's a 5-day weekend.
It's good, isn't it?
I'm going to take the 2nd off as well, and so that was a big difference for me when I first got here.
In Ireland, in my family anyway, we usually try to make. I haven't actually been home for quite a few Christmases, but when I was there, we try to make 5, 6, 7 days out of it. So usually on Christmas Eve, we do a bit of last minute shopping and head to the pub, and we get a load of pints in, and then the next day we do it'd be beer for breakfast kind of thing, and then a big cooked breakfast, and then more beer, wine, maybe a whiskey later on, and then go to someone's house for a party. And then St. Stephen's Day is the 26th. That's the day after Christmas Day. So in Ireland, the pub is being closed for 1 day, and on St. Stephen's Day it reopens again, and there's just this sense of panic that maybe it will never open again, and everybody just goes fucking bananas and goes to the pub, and it's just like, and the difference is on Christmas Eve there's this real jovial feeling, and you're in the pub, and you're with your family, and you're seeing people who've emigrated and come back, and oh, holy fuck, I went to school with you, man, where do you live? Oh, I live in New York, I live in Sydney, I live in Canada, I live in fucking Timbuktu. Yeah. But on Stephen's Day, it's just like everyone had to spend 1 day with their family, and they're just like, pub, drink, kill. Yeah, exactly.
Gotta get out of the house, and let's go. Open the pub.
It's great up until around 10:30, and then there's this sense of tension develops, and you're just like, ugh. But yeah, it's great. It's great.
Favorite places in Katowice?
Mohoviec / Trystava. So for those don't know, Mohoviec is like an airfield where they hold big music festivals. They hold everything, but it's got these lovely trails through the forest, and there's a restaurant there and a bar in just as you're kind of going into the park, and then you can kind of get into the forest there. But then just if you go on the other side of it is Trystava, which is 3 ponds, kind of, there's 3 big bodies of water there, and again there's bars, ice cream places, juice bars, and all of this, but it's real subtly done. It's all in big cargo containers, so it's not like you've got this center in the middle of all nature, and it's just, you sit there in the summer with a few chairs by the water, being fucking completely eaten by mosquitoes, but it's just so nice, and the sky is pink and it's reflected off the water, and you're just sitting there with a cola or a beer or a coffee, and the kids are playing, and just everyone's just in that vibe, and then they've got some nice music playing in the background, just like, and then you can go for these great walks through the lakes, cycles. You can go for like a 20-kilometer cycle from Katowice to Tychy through the forest.
Yeah, I've seen those. I've never done that, but I've seen the trails. I've seen the maps of the trails.
Fucking great, man.
I got to do that.
Do you know what Poland is very similar for me? Polish people won't agree, but it's so heavily forested. It reminds me of the planet from Star Wars, Endor, where the Ewoks lived. It's just this giant forest planet, and then city, forest.
That's true. Because there's a forest close by to my spot where I'm at, and it's like you say, it's city forest, and you're driving through. When they say you're driving through forest, you're driving through the forest.
Yeah.
For real.
That's great. For real. It's great. And then let me see, Nikishoviec. Nikishoviec is a big red brick hexagonal housing estate made for the miners, and it's one of the. I think it's UNESCO protected, but it was one of the only types of those structures not destroyed by the Russians, and it's fucking great. And it's got cobblestones, a few nice bars and restaurants, but it's just such a chilled out atmosphere in the place. I didn't know. Someone told me, you should be hanging out there at night. I was like, oh.
Nikishoviec, it's a brick. It's totally cool.
But in the past, it was a bit of a sketchy area, but now it's kind of like they're moving.
What hasn't been though, honestly, around here?
Yeah.
With the history of where Poland was to where Poland is, I mean, yeah. Nikishoviec, I've ridden the bus through there a couple times. I have to go visit there there's so much I have to still experience and that we have to experience.
It's beautiful.
There's a lot of places around it that you would never think. I was riding the bus and I'm like, where the hell am I? It was like, oh, this is beautiful. Oh, Nikishoviec. Yeah, the break is great. The architecture's awesome.
There's a bar that I like called Atmosphere, which is quite close to my house, where it's just got this amazing beer garden with a big tree in the center of it, and you're just in the summer, you've got the heat, and you're covered by a natural canopy of green, and it's dark, and you just get to sit there on these dark summer nights outside, and like that's a big thing. Like in Ireland, we love to have a beer, but we love to have a beer outside. But, the weather kind of doesn't.
We
permit
do
it.
too.
Yeah, I mean, drinking outside with your friends is
definitely
just in the summer.
I don't know who doesn't like to do that.
It's fantastic.
Honestly.
But for Polish people, it's like, that's what you do in the summer. But like for me, it's like, this is fucking great, and it never gets old. I'm totally not spoiled by it. I totally appreciate it, and I love it. I just love it. And you're sitting there, and it's really weird because you go into the bar, and the bar is darkly lit, but by comparison, your eyes still need to adjust. So you always appear to be drunker than you actually are. You're trying to find your way, and then you go back out into the dark, and you're like, fuck, I'm sorry. It's just great. Yeah. So that's my favorite place.
One of my favorite spots where we live is the community pool that we have, and like you're saying, drinking outside. Excuse me. Like you're saying, drinking outside. You can just go there. Bars open from the moment the pool opens in the morning. Yeah. Bars open, dude. Yeah. So get a drink. No open container laws. It's like you're in the park. It's all good, and just grab a beer, walk around, have another one. There's the woods there, pool, playground for kids. Yeah.
There's another place, a water park we go to called, what the fuck's it called? It's just up the road there off the highway.
In Ruda Śląska?
No, it's not as far as Ruda. It's in between Katowice and Chorzów.
I have no idea.
Bugla. It's called Bugla Water Park.
Bugla.
Right. Bugla. Like boogie, Bugla. And it's got 3 swimming pools. One for the adults, the teens, and the kids. And they've got water slides and jacuzzis and all of this stuff, right? And Polish people, for me, it's really cool. It's kind of strange because it can be 30 degrees Celsius outside. So you're like Americans use
90, 95.
Okay. So it's fucking hot. It's summer
Straight
hot.
Up.
It's summer fucking hot. And there's a few clouds in the sky. So Polish people are like, I'm not going to the open air swimming pool today. Fuck that. It's blue sky or nothing, right? But I'm Irish. I'm kind of like, it's not raining.
Let's go.
Happy fucking days. So I take me and the family, the kids, I'm not fucking kidding you. For $20, which is like €5, we are the only people in the whole fucking water park up until about 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So it's kind of, you kind of get to experience the rock star lifestyle. Like, this is how it would feel if I had my own 3 swimming pools. And I got to tell you, it's underwhelming. Like, it's fucking overrated owning 3 swimming pools.
Underwhelming.
Because there's nothing you can do in one swimming pool that, you know, having an extra 2 is gonna
affords you the luxury of doing.
Yeah. It's not like, you know, like, yeah, you can jump in one, swim to the end, jump into it, but that's fucking hard work. But the point is, we just got to chill. You know, throw the kids in the pool. They didn't have to queue for anything. I went and swam. They got like a 25-meter pool, or is it a 50-meter? I don't know. Anyway, you just up and down. It's nice and chilled, and there was no one else there. And I remember when the lifeguard saw us coming, he was like,
"Oh no, man. Smoking a cigarette." Like,
no, he was fucking wasted. But he was just like, "Man, you're just killing my buzz. You know." And
goddamn kids coming in.
But I felt like saying, like, you want me to go? You know, because I just felt bad having this. It's an Irish guilt thing about every time something good things, you just think, no, someone should just shoot me. I'm just awful. it's you get it. Talk to more Irish people. It's just like, fuck. But yeah, so it was great. So I love that place. Absolutely love it. But like people in Poland are just like, yeah, it's just a fucking water park, man. I was like, it's not. It's an open air water park, and you've got sunshine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The water parks are incredible here.
The
indoor water parks are awesome. Yeah. Like, one of my favorites is Holovska. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's really close to Slovakia.
No.
Really down south. Okay. Really close to Slovakia. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing place. Yeah. Yeah, the baths, the thermal baths, you know, you can swim up to the bar, grab a drink. Yeah. It's December. It's fucking freezing outside, and you're chilling in this 35 degree water, hanging outside, drinking a beer. Stars are amazing. You know, it was incredible, man. Yeah. So, but the indoor water parks are awesome, and the soft plays. The soft play playgrounds here. You got kids, you know about those joints. For real. Yeah. I get this asked a lot of times by people in conversations. They say, "Oh, USA, but American dream, isn't life easier there for you?" And I'm like, well, not everything you see in magazines is true. First of all, whatever you see in the movies, maybe true, probably not true. And they say, but isn't life easier for you over there? And I said, well, life is kind of easier for us over here. And they don't really understand that fact. They're like, oh, the government sucks, the healthcare system is shit, you know, and you don't earn a lot of money here. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm a native speaker, you know, I earn a lot of money, which on the grand scheme of things, we earn above average, I'll say. But it's not a super stellar salary once you convert it into American dollars. Let's just be real. But the question is is life easier for you here versus Ireland, or was Ireland easier? How would you field that question? Where is life easier for you?
I think life is hard all around. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, it's the same sky that's over your head, and it's the same ground kind of underneath your feet, and it's like, I suppose, like, it's hard. Like, life is hard for everyone, but Poland at the moment is like, when I came here, every other economy in Europe was tanking, and Polish economy was doing well. So I got a lot of good work here, and I did a lot of things here. And Poland is a great country where if you've got an idea, you can just go for it, you know, because Polish people are they're trying a lot of things, trying to find out, like, you know, they like new things. Okay, so they're very beautiful people, very, very smart people who were deprived of a lot because they fell behind the Iron Curtain. And as soon as that lifted, they were just like, give me the rest of the world. I want to taste the rest of the world. So there is this great sense of,
well, some people are like that.
Yeah, but I mean,
not everyone.
It's the same as, I mean, and then because I've lived in a few different countries for a while, and you've got stuff to compare, you're not really finding comparisons anymore. You're finding similarities. So if you're looking for comparisons, you'll find them. But if you want to find the similarities and kind of hold on to what you know. So the thing is, like, if you've got an idea here and you want to graft and you want to work hard and you want to do all that stuff, you can do really great things. And there's a lot of people that I knew when I was here that kind of really embraced that, and they just went and just fantastic things. And Poland is growing all the time, so you know there's new opportunities. I think it's a fantastic place if you've got an idea and you want to get, and they've got good people here as well, really smart people. So I mean, you know, if you want to start a company, I mean, like Katowice Wrocław, they're becoming real big tech centers. So like, I suppose,
yeah, IT is growing massively here,
but it depends on your attitude. I mean, like I could have gone to the United States and it not worked out very well for me. I could have gone to Canada or back to Australia, but it depends on, and for me, like I'm you know, like I like to do a bit of writing, a bit of running, and that's, you know, I'm very low. To keep me happy, it doesn't cost a lot, you know. Like I heard a really good expression, someone saying I'm doing well because when I'm tired I rest, and when I'm hungry I eat. And I just like, yeah, man. You know. But it's like when I had those 3 pools to myself, I was kind of like, if I was a multimillionaire, like, I mean, essentially it's really the same thing. It's kind of how you look at it, really. But to say, is it easier or harder? I mean, obviously I miss the family and my people, basically, and that. But then when you're back and you stay for a few, you're like, fucking rain again, man. You know?
You get the same over here, though.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, but it's the same. I think it's kind of where you go, you really find yourself, and then you kind of realize, right, it's me. It's not the country that's the thing, it's me, and that's who or what you've kind of got to compete with. And then, but just kind of coming into Poland and trying new things, and then building on those things. And I suppose being foreign helps a little bit because Polish people are like super friendly.
I mean,
by and large,
yeah, majority are. I feel like I don't feel like an immigrant here, because I'm white. That's like something I feel with, like, maybe it's me being an American or whatever, but I can assimilate easier because I'm white. That's how I feel. Call that racist, call that whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's just how I feel, man. If I was darker skinned, if I was black, especially where I'm living, I would have a much harder time, I feel.
Maybe not, because there's a sense of curiosity Polish people have, having been closed for so long. So I look, wherever you go in the world, you're going to find a racist.
This is true.
You know, like if you go to South Africa, or if you go to the United Kingdom, or there's always going to be someone that says, look, my life is hard because that guy's black. And you're just like, going, how does that work, man? Like how are you equating that? So I don't think, like for me, being foreign was a good conversation. It's a good in, I think. And I think Polish people, like when they take you into their house, the hospitality is just insane. It's just...
Oh, dude, Polish hospitality.
Man,
forget it.
You know, so I can't really comment on that. And I've never... But I did get told once, I remember I was in Małopolska and I was trying to park and some guy came up behind me and blah, blah, blah. And there was a bit of a verbal dispute going on there. And I was trying to talk Polish to him, you know, to really get my point across. And he told me to fuck off back home. And I thought, oh man, you're going there? And I got a bit shitty about it, but my Mrs. Dora told me, no, he thinks you're Silesian. He thinks you're from Silesia. So he's saying, like, why don't you fuck off back to Silesia, you hick? And I was like...
Get your passport and go back to Sosnovia, you fucker.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, he thinks I'm from Silesia. Okay, yeah. Oh, all right. Well, I am, man. I am. So, but yeah. I mean, like life is kind of... Is it harder here? I don't think think so.
I feel life's easier here. I feel it's safer here. That's for sure.
But
Poland is like we Americans know that there's things that are just fucked up with our country, and things need to be fixed or reworked or whatever the case may be. And of course, whatever side of the map you're on or political, you have different problems that are the problems. So, but I know that I feel safer with my child going to school here. I feel better.
Oh, it's a super safe country.
Yeah.
Poland is a super safe country.
Yeah.
It's got one of the lowest crime rates in Europe, and
I feel better about him not being kidnapped. I know he'll come home safe. Like everything's cool. There's
safe.
of course the chance something tragic will happen, but that's much lower, and that's everywhere. Let's be honest with tragedy happens all over the world, not just specifically in America, or because people say, oh, your gun laws are too loose. The gun laws are real strict here. But I feel much better about raising a family here than I do in America. Call me anti-American, which I'm not, and whatever you want to call me, that's what I say. But that's one of my things. It's such a safe country, man.
Yeah, totally. I've had zero trouble. But do you know what is a big thing here is respect as well. And one of the big differences between Polish people and Irish people is in the Polish language they have the formal. So it's like proszę pana, whereas in Ireland we're not a very formal people. So it's like, all right, man, how are you doing? Well, I'm the president, and you're like, yeah, whatever, man. Do you know what I mean? It's super informal, but so that
we're informal too, for real.
Yeah.
You have the North informal, which is like, my man, what's up, yo? Like, how you doing? Like in the shop, people are so. Oh man, you go into the shop, dzień dobry.
Yeah.
Dzień dobry pani, dzień dobry pana.
It is, and there's this
right?
expected formal exchange.
You're going to the corner store to grab some smokes and the fucking some beers, whatever. And I know in Jersey, New York, it's like, yo, what's up, my man? Yo, hit me a pack of them Reds, yo, and I'll take some of them the Bud Lights, yo, like 12 of those, or whatever. You're not gonna order beer, but that's what I'm saying. It's very informal.
Yeah.
Here is like.
But even if you're giving someone shit, it's like I often listen to my missus, like if there's something going on, and I can't really pick up that like I should get all X, Y, and Z about it, because I can't, like what was he saying? Oh, he was giving me shit about it. He was giving you shit? No, it's cool. But it's kind of like it's like this tennis match, well, sir, I think that you're not very nice and your face is a strange shape, and also doubt the intelligence of your ancestors. Well, let me retort, and it just goes back and forward. Where like in Ireland, it'd just be like, look, I don't like your mother's fat. And you say, what you say, bum? Not so much, but there's like, and so for me, like respect is a big thing here, and you can vocalize your complaint, and the guy basically they'll talk it out, not in a very nice way, but they'll talk it out. Yeah, but Poland's a super safe country, super safe,
for real. I agree, 100%. What would you tell someone who is moving to Poland? What's something you wish you would have known before you got here? Maybe something, or because Monica she became pregnant 2 months into the relationship. I hopped on a plane and I came here to have a baby. That's the deal. So I wasn't, I was telling my father 3 days before I'm leaving, I'm like, Dad, I'm scared, man. And he's like, you fucking should be. Your ass definitely should be scared, I'm glad you are, because if you weren't scared, something would be wrong, whatever. But yeah.
Did you know? So both my children were born here, but Poland, like in Poland, children are sacrosanct. The kids are everything, and which is great. It's really, really cool. And Poland's healthcare system has the best care for mother and child in Europe. I think it's number 2 in the world.
I can agree with that.
And it's just like but
pre-birth, birth, and aftercare.
Yeah.
Like I was amazed. The midwife comes to your house on her bicycle to teach you how to wash the baby, how to dress the baby, what to do, check up on you. Are you guys okay? How know what you're like? Oh, you have the baby, and all right, out you go. Next one's in, and no one's coming to you in America.
I was in on the birth for both of my daughters, and the first daughter, I have never felt so useless in my life. Like I might as well have been a picture of me hanging on the wall. That's how much help I was. But the second one, the doctor who was delivering, helped my wife deliver the baby. She I was about to pass out. Like, it's a super emotional time. Like, it's just like what? And I remember I was crying and all that kind of stuff, and I'm trying to help. And she turned to me and she said, "Proszę pana, Pana Brian, excuse me, Mr. Brian, I need you to do something." And I was like, "Fucking anything, like, what do you need to do?" Yeah. She's like, "Can you hold the water for me?" I was like, yeah. And I held the water for 20 minutes.
Like your life depends
on it.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, do you want water?
This is the most important thing, hold the water.
Do you want water? Do you want water? Do you want water? And at the end of it, I was like, "Do you want the water back?" She was like, "What? The what?" Oh, yeah. Which basically, she just gave me busy work.
Right.
So, like, do you know what? She must have forgot the colouring book. Because I'd say if she had it, she would have said, "Look, you play with your crayons. Oh, that's a great picture, and we'll do the life and death operation over here." But something I wish they'd known. Just what I wish I had known. The language.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yep. Anything else? No, because the rest of it you just figure out, and it does develop this. It helps you plug into the jakoś to będzie, like, you know, what will be kind of attitude where you just, all right, this is happening, I'll go with this. All right, that didn't work out. I ended up fencing stolen goods. That didn't work out. So, you know, just go on this one and this stuff. And I've just kind of been really lucky in the people that I ended up with, and the things that I said, okay, I'll go with that, just went really, really well. So what would I have known? It'll all be fine. That's what I wish I'd known. Getting on the plane, it'll all be fine.
True.
Yep.
Yeah. I worried way too much when I first got here. You know, I worried way too much about everything, and I shouldn't have worried so much. I know that.
Yeah, I think in general,
I was in a real stressful situation in life, you know, but nonetheless, if I adopted that attitude sooner, I feel that it would have been, it just would have been more helpful.
Yep.
With me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can agree with you.
Yep.
So healthcare system, let's talk about this one, because Americans are like, "Oh, European social healthcare, it's fantastic, it's awesome." I don't have social healthcare. I have LuxMed. My Monica and Oliver have the NFZ healthcare. I have private healthcare. I love that I have an option for that, and it's super cheap.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is it cheap?
Yeah.
Premium plan, all the bells and whistles, 306 zloty a month.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
That'd be thousands of dollars a month.
Yeah. So it's really good, and I've had experiences with Polish healthcare. So they basically saved my life twice. Like, so that was kind of quite nice. And I had inflammation on my gallbladder, and it exploded. And because I had hurt my back in my 20s, and the actual pain doesn't happen in your gut; it happens in your back. So I figured that I had put a disc out, or I had torn a muscle or something, and I figured, look, I'll just battle through, because it was on Vigilia, Christmas Eve, that this happened. And then I was just dying. I was just big time. And we got to the hospital, and the guys, they took one look at me and went, "Man, surgery." Like, and I was like, "I don't know." And the guy was like, "I'm not asking you. I'm telling you
right now
where you're going." Yeah. So I was really, really sick. And the surgeon came in, and he was hilarious, man. He was hilarious. He was about 2 meters tall. His hands looked like a bunch of bananas. And I was like, "You do surgery? Like, mate, if I saw you, like, if he played the piano, it would sound like this. Bling, 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 bling." You know what I mean? He just had these, but he was
not a surgeon.
But I woke up, and they were so caring.
Yeah.
They were so caring.
Yeah.
And until, you know, I remember the lady kind of dabbing my head, saying, "It's okay, I know it hurts." And I was like, "Oh." But here's the funny thing.
They cut your gallbladder out. They opened.
Oh yeah, knocked me out. They gave me
everything.
painkillers. Yeah, but when I woke up from surgery, I was still a bit high, I suppose. I was out of it. Like, but I thought I was in New York for some reason, and I thought, because I'd been vomiting a lot. I'd been vomiting like for 12 hours straight. The taste was still in my mouth, and I could hear American accents singing, you know, "Happy New Year, I did it my
Christmas
way."
is Vigilia. Christmas movies are playing.
So
Home Alone is super popular here.
Man, it's like, it's
Christmas
just
time. I have
mental.
no fucking idea why that is.
Yeah,
Can you tell me why? In the
nobody
comments,
does.
Why the fuck?
Nobody
is
does.
Home Alone so popular for Christmas time?
And it's called Kevin Sandomo.
Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin's at home by himself.
I'm like, Kevin is. It's not called Kevin. It's called Home Alone. People. So surgery. So people are caring.
Yeah, but they were super nice. But I thought I was in New York because I could hear American accents and I could hear Happy New Year and all this stuff. But it was them trying to slap me and wake me up. And I remember feeling myself going, I have a taste of vomit in my mouth. I'm naked. I'm in New York. It's New Year's Eve, and it was all women in the operating theater. And I thought, I'm surrounded by women. I'm naked, and I thought, I'm too old. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is just a party gone wild. And then I kind of was like, I'm in hospital. This is not good. And then I remembered, okay, I'm in Poland. This is fantastic. But they took super good care of me. So I can't complain. I can't, cool. But like the great thing is that you could just walk in and go, I'm dying. They were like, yeah, we got you.
Yeah, that's true. And no costs.
I don't. No, I don't, because I was on the health insurance, which again, it's, as you said,
that would be thousands of dollars in America.
Yeah, but
thousands.
So comparatively, I mean, it's still, it's still a cost, but
you're still paying it every month.
Yeah.
This is why I'm asking, because I have no experience with the social healthcare here, and that's why I'm like, let me talk to you about this, because I want to get to know. You hear a lot about this. You hear the lines are super long for specialists. If you have a problem, you have to wait a long time. People say that. And I mean, if I have a problem with a specialist, I don't even need to, I just call, hey, I got to book a visit with a cardiologist. Oh yeah, tomorrow, no problem.
Now, I know it's not like that for everyone, and nothing is really perfect, but I just have to say, in my experience, like, I was in a bad state and they just were like, yeah, we got you, man, don't worry about it. But I remember the surgeon made a joke to my missus after, so I was in there recovering, and he said, yeah, when we cut him open, like, because I had left it a bit long, the cavity was full of black stuff. It took a long time to drain. I remember I had this, I'm not going to go into it, but it's not fun. I remember the lady took it out and she was hilarious. She was hilarious because she was pulling this drainage tube that was in my cavity out, and it just kept coming. And she was like this, oh. And I was like, And she's like, oh. It's like she's mimicking me. I was like, I was totally being a total pussy about it. But I just remembered, like, that's, it's not the time to make jokes, but at the same time, thank you for making jokes about it. So she was really good. And then the one of the midwives who delivered, or one of the staff, was she a midwife? But she had lived in Ireland for ages. So halfway through, she picked up on my accent, and she was like, she's like, oh, are you Irish? I was like, yeah. And then she's doing the thing. My wife's, ooh. And the baby's coming, and she turns out she lived in the town that my folks were from. And there was just this big back and forth just as I started losing consciousness, because the whole birth thing was just too much for me. And she was like, hey.
Stay with me,
back to me. She goes, do you want to cut the cord? And I was like this, yeah, okay. And she was like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe, because I was just a mess. Yeah, so Polish health service, I had good experience. They helped me out.
Do you stick with Irish football or do you watch Polish football? What's your deal?
Neither. I've never been a huge fan. Like, I like, because in Ireland we have Gaelic football, which is, and then you've got football, which is soccer. But like in Ireland we call Gaelic football GA, after the Gaelic Athletic Association. So it's like, do you watch GA? But I'd watched the World Cup, which was great, because one of the summers when we were here, it was a cracking summer. The games were all in this open air beer garden, and we had an American artist with us as well, who was trying to plug in to what was going on, because I know you guys got your football, which is as confusing to us to watch. We get the general idea that the ball's got to go from that end to that end. You can smash. But when the guy's like, it looks like something's going to happen, and then everyone stops and stands around, and the guy in the hat goes, he makes a lot of fucking signs, and the other guy goes, and then they go like this, and they stop again, and the guy's like, and then the commentator goes,
people say that shit all the time. Like, baseball, I don't understand baseball. And then football, American football, I don't understand football. I don't know how you understand cricket, dude. cricket is like so mind-blowing to me. I don't know, man. People say baseball's confusing. I'm like, cricket, the ball goes this way, the ball goes that way, the ball goes fucking over here. Oh, fuck, dude.
Cricket's not massive in Ireland. We have a team.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's not huge, but I did watch cricket when I lived in Australia for a little bit, and we would go to the Oval where cricket's played, and it's a great excuse to have beers in the sun and look at something happening. And it's like, what's the score? It's 175 to 5 apples. Yeah, 5 apples is that good? It's not good. Oh, look, he's got 6 apples. Is that worse? No, it's better. What the fuck, man? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but yeah, cricket's a weird one, right? How long does the game last? Because I remember watching it on TV, and it's on television for 3 days. It's going on for 3 days, and I was like,
yeah,
what the fuck is happening here? And it's raining, so they stop it for rain, and you're like, I don't.
So no footballers for you. No football. Ski jumping is huge here.
Yeah, they don't. They go down, they jump, they land.
People love that shit.
Yeah. Not massive in Ireland. We're not a huge skiing nation. But you know what I did? You know what I never played, and I did when I got here, and it's great. It's volleyball. Volleyball's a fucking great game, man. It's
huge.
It's a great game. Yeah,
it's like football, volleyball.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Those are the top 3 here. Yeah. And then the winter sports of ski jumping and cross country skiing and such. But the main sports: football, volleyball, basketball.
So the biathlon here is skiing and shooting. But I always thought it would be more fun if they were skiing and shooting after each other. So you go first, and if I'm gonna fucking. Because like they're not flying high caliber bullets, but it's enough to pierce the skin. But I mean, you get someone after about 5 or 6 of those in them, that bleeding is going to slow you down.
Yeah, a bit.
But they split it into 2. So they ski, then they shoot, and then they ski a little bit off. But I was watching this woman, Justina Kowalczyk, I think her name was, and she fell and she broke her leg at some point in the race and skied on.
Kept going.
She was like, I'm doing this. I am all over this. Yeah, I am just, unless like if you fall and break your leg, it's like horse racing. They just shoot you there. So maybe that was the fear that kept her going. But I just thought, what a beast. Like, well done. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Brian. Thank you very much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate your time. First episode of the Poland Experience, and thank you very much, my man.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. I suppose comment and
subscribe if you made it all the way through. Yeah. Catch you on the next one. All right, man. Here we go. I was going to practice an intro, but I totally didn't. I hopped on social media and I was like, oh yeah, I was going to post up some shit and got involved in the comments and stuff, whatever. So that's the deal. This is good. I don't want to stop. If you gotta go, let me know.
We'll do a few more questions and
yeah. Okay.
Did you want to do 10 questions?
No.
No? Okay, cool.